hello everyone. Good Saturday morning. This is Wario in 3. I guess I should introduce my couch. Next to me is Xylo.
Hi.
He has not speedrun this game or played it at all, I guess. Which is fine. Moral support. So, timer starts once I hit A. So, if you would do the honor.
I'm ready.
So, 3, 2, 1, go.
Woo!
So, whee! So, the game is in Japanese. It has a massive storyline, as any Wario game does. Of course, it doesn't. But it's slightly faster to be in Japanese. So we'll give a quick rundown of the story, I guess, for those people who can't read Japanese, like myself. So basically, Wario crashes with his airplane in a forest. There's a random cave. He goes in there, finds a random music box, touches it, and gets sucked into it.
Yeah, why not?
Sure, if it works as a story, then why not? It's a Wario game. They always have deep, gripping stories.
And for some reason he's sleeping.
He just passed out. So we're now in the level called the Temple. As there will be shortly appearing a big face in the background. It's a very friendly face. He's basically going to tell us that he's the god of this world and his powers were sealed away by evil forces. And to break the curse, we need 5 music boxes. And then he will send us back to our own world. And Wario, being the charitable guy that he is, only accepts after the god basically tells him he is allowed to keep all the treasures that he finds along the way. He gives us a thumbs up, and with that we start.
Greedy Wario.
So, this game is a 2D platformer with, I guess, Metroidvania elements. Basically, we do not have any power-ups, so if you played Wario Land 2 before this, you might be surprised, because Wario Land 2 we had all upgrades. We don't have any right now. So we basically can dash and jump. That's about it. A short introduction to movement. The fastest movement is walking. Dash jumping isn't actually faster than just walking. So basically, we try to walk everywhere. But if we have to jump like this, or fall down anyway, it's faster to dash jump. So you will see me randomly dash jump everywhere. It's very slightly fast. It saves like a couple of seconds in the entire run. Yeah. Oh no. I can't pause here, but I will after this. So when did it go down roughly? In the middle of the level? Okay. Listen to this great night music.
It's not too bad.
The game has great music. Like, it came out really late for the Game Boy, and
The Game Boy has some nice sounds.
it's very well optimized as well. Like, the early Game Boy games have very bit crushed music. Well, it is very pleasant. Well, I guess we're back on track on the schedule.
Chat is not scrolling, so I guess it's not back.
I guess chat also froze quite some time ago.
Of course, because the internet doesn't work.
Yeah,
So it can scroll.
I think it was also before the run started, I guess. Looks like it.
I saw a scroll.
Okay. Like the guy who said they jinxed it and everything breaks. They are the reason the stream is down.
Yeah. Just blame him, or I don't know.
like sandpaper to my nerves.
All right, great.
So we're back. I just were told. Let's see. Okay, you have the button.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
sorry.
can't press it.
Okay,
so
of course.
I would reset it.
So I'm not sure where we left out. Basically, we got an axe that cut a tree, opens up the path to these two levels. We will be doing a bit of sequence breaking here. Basically, we will get the red chest in here, which we're not supposed to get yet. And it actually doesn't do anything at this point in time. But basically, we just want to clear this level so that we don't have to return here at a later point. Saves a bit of overworld movement. There's not much to it. This enemy is dropped in a bad position. So we will get to the first glitch in the game here. We can clip into a wall by cancelling the dash. I need to have the right setup. Basically, with the correct setup, if we cancel the dash in the right spot, we are actually able to clip into a wall and move up one tile. Basically, we can jump 2 tiles high, usually. That wall was 3 tiles high, so we wouldn't even be able to get up there. But by clipping into a wall, we can actually go 1 tile higher, and we will be abusing this a lot. Basically, there's a later upgrade, the boots, that would allow us naturally to jump 3 tiles high. But why get that upgrade if we can just skip it with glitches? So we will be getting a book here. Again, the book does not do anything for like the next 20 minutes. But we just get it here because even if we were to return at a later point, we would still do the level with the glitch, so why not? We are now re-entering the level. It's now daytime because this game has a day-night transition cycle. At night there are zombies here, at day there are these donutiers that will turn Wario fat if he eats the donuts like this. As Fat Wario, we're a bit slower. We basically super ground pound the floor, and exercise makes us skinny again. Whatever skinny means on Wario. He's thick, not fat. Basically, we do this green key at day and the red key at night because the enemies at day make this level slightly faster. But the level itself doesn't change. There's a color palette that changes, but not much to it.
And day and night changes every time you leave a level.
Yes. We could leave a level early to force it, but it also transitions every time we actually get a treasure. So it's built into the route like this. As you can see right now, or can't see, we're invisible. The game has no health, so we cannot actually die or game over. Every time we get hit, we get knocked back or transformed. And in this case, a transformation makes us invisible. There's these eye walls that just died. They close when they see Wario, so to get past them we have to become invisible. But invisible Wario cannot open the chest, so basically we have to go past it, grab the key, turn visible again, and then go to the chest. It's a reoccurring theme in the entire game. A lot of the puzzles are based around these transformations. There are, I don't know how many, there's like Fire Wario, Spring Wario, Zombie Wario, Vampire Wario, Ice Wario, like a lot.
Stangenby Wario.
Yeah, you can like have an allergic reaction, I guess, which basically inflates you and allows us to fly. But more to that later. There will be more of this. So here's another variation of the wall clip, if I can get it right. So we do not actually need to be facing the wall to clip into it. We just need the proper setup. The setup actually happens to be two dash jumps from the wall here, which is why I'm setting this up. If I don't happen to get this, I would just... Oh, okay, I got it. As you can see, it's completely intended to get this key this way. We just clip into the wall and just jump up there. There's no puzzle involved, believe me. This game has absolutely no puzzles, none.
Do you skip every puzzle in this game?
Not every puzzle, but the ones that we can skip. I didn't mean to grab that coin. We skip the ones that we can because they're usually slow, they're involving transformations, and you have to get out of the transformations as well. So if we can skip it, we skip it. So I didn't want to grab that coin, not because it's actually bad. It gives us 10 coins, which is a nice backup for later. But in the scoring screen like this, I cannot mash this until it actually counts to 1, so it loses like a second. We now enter this level at night. The right side is open at day, the left side is open at night, which is like a lot of the gimmicks of the levels, basically. Some chests can only be gotten at day, some only at night. But in this case, we need like a 2-piece set. One you get at day, one you get at night here to proceed to the next level. So go for a neat little trick here. I didn't get it. Okay, so there are 3 frames of invincibility on these ladders that would have allowed me to dodge the laser. It saves like half a second, but it looks nice if you get it. But I didn't get it, so it's not too bad of a time save and loss. So the first, the day-night levels here give us basically some kind of scroll. We do not know a lot of the item names. A lot of them are just taken from Japanese. It's a tornado scroll, I guess. I just named it like this because it makes the tornado just go away. It just flies off. Like a lot of the items don't really make sense.
It's a magic scroll, dude.
Yeah, of course. It's a magic tornado and a magic scroll, and they like cancel out each other.
Yeah, modern elven technology.
So, if we slide down these slopes, we basically turn into a ball. The ball can break blocks, and it's also slightly faster. But that's about it, so we couldn't break these blocks otherwise. By the way, the first boss, also maybe the worst one in the entire game, Doll Boy. If his hammers hit us, we get turned into Spring Wario. Okay. Again, there's no health in this game, so basically getting hit on bosses means it resets the entire boss, because it forces us out of the arena and forces us to re-enter the arena.
And you are forced to collect the coin.
Yeah, it's just salt in the wound. So basically, I got a fairly bad pattern there. I would go for marathon safety here. I usually defeat him a different way, but I already failed the fight once. I don't want to fail it twice. So basically, most bosses have 3 like hit points, and there's usually a trick to actually hitting them. But basically, you get hit once, you not die, but you have to re-enter the arena. So, back to power-ups. We now got our first power-up. As you can see, there's quite a lot of power-ups on the bottom. Every question mark is a power-up. And we just got the first one. So, we can now ground pound and open these like lizards. Nobody molds lizards. Basically, the game progresses with power-ups by basically only checking the last one that you got. So in the entire run, we will only get 3 power-ups. The first, like the 6th and the 10th. And basically, by getting these power-ups, the game will say, well, you must have gotten the previous ones as well to actually get here. So it just gives us these power-ups for free. Which is nice, because every power-up has a lengthy cutscene. And skipping these is fairly nice. We are approaching a fairly random part in the game because we're going to be playing a mini-game of golf. Now,
you're actually playing it, I was questioning that.
Yeah, we have to, sadly. If you speedrun this game, you know golf is a nightmare. Basically, there are 4 courses that we can get here. Ideally, I get the par 3 one. If I get the par 5 one, it's really a massive time loss. Okay. So there are also 2 par 4 courses. This is one of them. They are not that bad. By the way, this is not how you play golf. Usually you use a golf club and not your arm.
Are you sure?
I mean, I'm not a golfer, but I'm pretty sure that's not how you play golf. So we do all this to just move this block out of the way that is right next to the chest. This block right here. And we're not done with golf, because any percent only does one single game of golf, which I'm completely fine with, because again, the RNG on golf can be really bad, and it's fairly annoying to go for a PB pace and get the wrong golf course, and you can just reset. This jar contains rain clouds, because why not? Most jars do.
Yeah, of course.
So if you're out on a sunny day and you want it to rain, you just open up your backup rain clouds. Doesn't matter.
And it just creates a new lake.
Yeah, but I mean, it's strong rain.
Yeah, it looked really strong.
So this is the pool of rain, if you can read Japanese. These like red metal poles have really weird hitboxes, which is why I'm going a bit slower than usual at them. Because if I fall down here, there's water below me, and we do not have flippers. And Wario can't swim without flippers, apparently, which is strange. Usually you should be swimming without flippers. And it's very slow to basically fall down here. But that's about the level. There's not much to say to this. Basically, this gives us a gear for an elevator. And we need another gear to actually get to the elevator. But that is not really the focus right now. We just grab it along the way. Because the next level here is very interesting. It's called a town in chaos. Because it's a town and it's overrun with monsters. And we will be entering this level twice in a row. Basically, we grab the gray chest and key. And then re-enter and grab the red version as well. Now, there's not much to say about the grey version, because we play it basically like glitches would. Get turned into a zombie, zombies can fall through these platforms and get turned back to normal by sunlight, or I guess moonlight in this case. Pushing this boiler, you usually are supposed to be dashing against it, but the game just checks if you were standing right next to it and your state was dashing. So basically, if we dash against it head on, it would stun us basically for about a second every time. So by pushing it backwards, it's just faster. Because we can just run to the boiler and bash it again instead of being stunned. So some bit of explanation for the red key for this level, because it is a massive sequence break. Usually on glitches we would be needing a helmet for this, to break a block with our head. We do not have the helmet, and we will not be getting the helmet either in this run. So we will have to find a way to basically go around this block. First of all, we will be getting the key, which is fairly easy to get. We will be using a wall clip to get out quickly enough. Basically, it can shoot soon. But afterwards, we will be going back into the boiler room, doing what we call the boiler clip, which is a neat little trick that allows us to enter the boiler, which has a hitbox. And then inside the boiler, we basically... it's hard to explain. We push the boiler and the game breaks visually and loads the couple of enemies it shouldn't be loading.
Alright.
So basically, we would be now locked in here because we can't high jump, but we can wall clip if I'm on the right pixel and actually get the correct timing. So these tricks are a bit tricky to set up. I might have to get a bit closer to the screen a couple of times to be checking if I'm actually on the right pixel. We damage boost up here because it's faster. Because again, we cannot game over at all. So every time we get hit, we usually get knocked back or transformed. So we are now going back to the boiler room. The boiler trick is RNG. It can take quite a bit of time. I hope fully get it fairly quickly. That would be nice. But basically, what it does, it loads the visuals from the room that we were just in with the gray key. We are still physically in this room, and it loads the enemies from above. Now I will do a safety save here because the next trick can soft lock us. The boiler clip. So I'm not going to attempt to explain the inputs because they are fairly interesting. So we are now inside the boiler. We just clipped into it. So by dashing against the left wall, there's a random chance for the screen to be basically freaking out. So you will see if it works. This might take a while. Do we have a donation or anything?
Currently we don't have any donations, but I can remind you that we do have some incentives for today. Next up is the Zelda 2 file name incentive. You can choose a name for the file. Currently in the lead is Geo with $22 and in second place Birds with $8. But if you want something else or want to add something, feel free to do so. We're waiting for your donations.
So again, like we are visually in the last room, physically in the same room, and it loads the enemy from the rooms above. I have to get a good setup here.
So the enemies you're seeing there aren't really there, right?
No, they would be in the room above us. Now a clip,
Ah, I see. That's awesome.
but you don't see, like you actually don't see anything because the visuals are broken. So basically we clip into a wall. Now how this actually works is Wario is 2 tiles high, and if we are stuck inside a wall, it would force us to basically crouch down. However, we got stuck in a wall, got transformed into a zombie. Zombies can't crouch in this game. So the game basically allows us to jump inside the wall, which allows us to climb a wall, go through a solid wall, and go basically around the block that we try to avoid. Also, this boss is a nightmare for casual players.
Yeah, I remembered.
Basically, you're supposed to play football. There are several angles that you can hit the boss in, and the keeper usually grabs the boss and just throws him back, and you didn't score a goal. But if you have the right setup, he's actually fairly simple.
Yeah, I have the feeling that the turtle is doing a great job by blocking you, but if the rabbit kicks you, he's literally doing nothing against.
That is completely true. It's a bit unfair, I guess. The keeper just ducks when the rabbit shoots, so he doesn't even attempt to grab you. We get set on fire here because burning Wario is faster than walking. It's a bit cruel, but for the sake of speed, we do a lot. Now, we shouldn't even be here in this level. The level is actually fairly simple. You're supposed to take the top path, grab the key, and swim on the bottom path. The issue is we do not have the flippers. We can't swim. So we have to do 2 frame-perfect executions in a row to basically do a wall clip. It's like the third installment of the wall clip here. It's fairly tricky and it's really fun, and we have to do it 4 times in a row, which is why I really love this level. Basically, this is very annoying. So I basically have to move next to the wall, move 1 pixel away from the wall for the setup, and then dash cancel twice on the perfect frame. So it's fairly technical. I have no clue how people found this out, but they did.
Chat mentioned this is a 60 FPS game, right?
Yeah, all Game Boy games are basically based on 60 FPS, or like 59.75 FPS something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so frame perfect tricks on 60 FPS. These take a bit of time. You can basically align yourself here on the top wall, which is a bit slower, but if you... okay. So, if you actually do the trick right, but press jump too late, you climb into the wall, like I did there, and that's the level. So, in glitches, this level is really easy. and it's done in like 25 seconds. On any percent, this level is horrible because of this trick that we have to do 4 times. Now, the next level, luckily, is nothing like this. It's basically a little puzzle that we have to do. Actually, we cannot skip this puzzle.
Okay.
We have to get set on fire in the beginning to break these like flammable blocks, and we'll do a bit of enemy manipulation here on the left. So the hammerbot is facing me instead of walking away. There's small tricks that saves like another second here. Spring Wario is constantly jumping. I can only move to the left and right, and I can do basically a higher jump by holding A after he lands, but it's timed. Like, there's no way to break this until you jump into water, or it just ends on its own. But basically, there's not much to this level. Now, the 2 items we just got, the book and the scepter, basically open up S4, south side level 4. We will never enter that level, ever, in this run. But the interesting thing is, you can see the little dot that you created below the bridge. There's an arrow to the right. So basically, by opening S4, the game thinks, well, we should have been to S3 before, right? Because we didn't sequence break at all. So it just opens up S3 for us, which is really nice, because opening up S3 regularly is time-consuming. You need to get like 2 rings, it's a long cutscene. So basically we sequence break and just open up the level for free. But now we just have to get there. Flat
What a
Wario.
kind game.
He's fine. Look at him, he's happy. So usually there's like a puzzle here where you're supposed to like go into like a small hole up there as Flat Wario. But if you set up yourself correctly, you can just grab the key without doing the puzzle. And we really hate puzzles. Coming up to the next boss. It's a worm. That's about it. He always spawns on the opposite side of you, so we can basically manipulate him into spawning right into our attacks. And he's done. Don't question why his eyes like pop out like this.
I'm questioning nothing here.
That's a good approach to this game. So we get our second music box. Now, oh wait, yeah, the second one. So basically, the gist of the game is the face in the temple setter told us to get 5 music boxes, which is the end game goal. We now have 2. Plays a cutscene, nice little music. For some reason, this triggers the bridge to go down. It's magic. The magical music.
Are there other humans on this isle?
I don't want to spoil anything. No, technically no.
Alright.
So this is the Tower of Illusion. It's a very key point in the run. We will do this twice in a row, this level. We will not actually be getting the grey chest and key, which is the only one that Glitchless would be getting right now. But we will be going for the red chest and key, which would be behind this blue door. But we do not have the means to open this door. So we just casually clip up here to skip another puzzle. So we need to find a way to get behind this door without actually opening it. And basically what we will do is we clip into a wall, get turned fat, use this to jump out of bounds, and then fly into the game's memory, which is always a great sight to see because nobody understands it just from watching it. Basically it's muscle memory at this point. Now this setup is a bit tricky. It might take me a couple of tries. Basically we need this donut here to be down here. I will be need to be standing on the correct... Oh, sorry. Basically need to wait for the donut here to move away. Let me see. Okay, this is the correct pixel. I just need to get the timing correct. This is a bit late. Oh, this is a good timing. So, we will now be dashing into wall, cancelling the dash and clip into the wall, get hit by the donut. That was a bit too far away from the wall. So we are now clipped into the wall. You can't see it really as a casual player. But basically we will get turned fat here if we time it correctly. And we're now clipped into the wall, and Fat Wario also can't crouch. So we just jump up here. I mean, it's great. And it's just enough to turn us back into normal. We fall out of the map here. We missed the enemy, which is annoying. But that's why I do these saves, these backup saves. Basically, we fall down a level. The level physically changes because the map below has another structure. But the game has not actually unloaded the enemies from... Wow. Okay. From this room. So we want to get hit by the stinger to fly back up. It's a bit tricky, because technically you can't jump there. There's actually no floor there. I would do a save here. So basically there's one frame where you jump if you just keep holding jump. Don't ask me how this works. The enemy is a bit tricky to get. I'm jumping a bit early here, which is the main reason why I'm missing. There's basically two tiles that you can hit to jump. One allows us to higher jump. Come on, game, please. Okay, we might be here for a bit.
But the clips worked.
Why is he not hitting me? I tried to...
Is this RNG?
Not really, it's mostly about timing. The problem is I clipped a bit late into the wall, so the timing might be off. Basically, randomly jumps a bit slightly higher into the enemy. I'm jumping really low here. Well, I mean, there's no backup for this. Okay, I'm just gonna force a bit later jump. Okay. So right now, basically the cycle that I'm on is random, which is bad. I just have to hope to get the right cycle here. This looks good. There, finally, sorry. So basically, we are now one map below this, which is why the graphics are freaking out, because it tries to load the graphics of the level below without actually loading the level. Right now, for example, I cannot move to the right here, because on the level below there's a solid wall here. So right now I'm basically forced to fly back up into the level. And so we are now back in bounds. We are now in this screen that we are actually on. And that's the last we will see of this screen. Because right now we will fly upwards. Now, the problem is there is no map above this one. So we are now in the game's memory. So the game is now basically trying to assemble a level with its memory, which works perfectly. Please do not soft lock on this level. I'll soft lock. Okay. Another reason why I do safety there. As you can see, movement in the memory is a bit weird. I just jumped way too high and passed the switch and down. So I basically want to hit the switch exactly once. The problem is the switch does not have a hitbox, but it still triggers on being hit. So if we clip into the hitbox, we just spaz out. So we hit the level once, we didn't get soft locked, which is nice. Now there's a certain route through here. I can't explain it because, well, how am I supposed to explain this? Basically, there's a tube here, as you could see, and we're now behind the blue doors without ever opening them. These two green bars that you can see here, that's the reason why we hit the switch in the first place. Otherwise they would be up and we would have to do another round, basically go back down and go back up to grab the key. but that's slow. Get turned fat here, break this block, which is fine. Now we need to break the fire block. Oh, there's a frame perfect trick that I just did. Basically, if you land on the fire on exactly 1 frame, we have room to jump. And it did it. This happens really rarely. Saves like 2 seconds of running around, which doesn't make up for the fact that I failed the out of bounds quite a bit. But basically we now already have the key, so we do not have to do 2 laps. We just have to get turned into a zombie, fall down here, dodge the coins, fall down here, dodge this coin as well, because for being greedy we really want to dodge all the coins, which is kind of strange. So, like I said, the game checks power-ups based on the last power-up that we got, and this is garlic, because if you think of power-ups, you think of a massive clove of garlic.
Of course.
Yeah.
When it comes to Wario.
So basically, you see on the bottom, we only had the second power-up, the pants. We basically, by getting the garlic, we also get the flippers, the helmet, and the glove, and of course the garlic itself, which is really nice because, as you can see, these like introduction cutscenes, you have these for every single upgrade. They're really long, and you also need to get the upgrades in the first place. So, yeah, basically we are on a good way right now because we have the upgrades. We will now enter the tower again, do the entire thing again, go once more out of bounds, but take another path this way, because we can now swim. We now just got the flippers. Well, technically we got the flippers. We never actually got them, but the game just gave them to us. Because there is water in out of bounds, or at least water tiles, I guess, which allow us to swim through the air. It makes as much sense as everything in out of bounds. Basically, we will be getting the green key and chest this time. One second. Casual clip up here again. There's a small trick that we can now do that we couldn't do last time. It doesn't save much time, but it's mostly about swag. So basically we clip into the wall here on the right. Oh, no, pixel. We fall down here, break these blocks, which you shouldn't even be able to do from the ladder, but by clipping into the wall we actually have solid ground to stand on to break these blocks. Saves like 2 seconds. But it looks nice. So we now have to do the same thing again. So maybe we have some donations now?
We are still waiting on new donations, but here's your reminder that we are collecting money for Save the Children, and we are still live from Potsdam in Germany, even though we had to change the channel, which you probably know when you're watching this, but for the people who don't know, please inform them that we switched the channel.
So I actually got the clip here on first try, which is really nice. But this is a low. I'm just gonna reload this. So it's exactly the same as last time. We clip into the wall, do good timing, get hit by the donut, and then just jump back in out of bounds. There we go. This is a high setup. I would just do a safety save here for if I fail it again. It's a nice sound. So it's exactly the same again. The memory changes in the out of bounds on the level's progression. This time it hit me.
Yeah,
okay.
Instantly.
I'm not going to complain about this. So the memory that we will move through, it changes if this level changes. Since we only got an upgrade that applied to us and not to the level itself, the out of bounds is still the same, which is really nice. This time we will take another route, because we can't take the same route that would lead us to red again. And we already got red. Also this time we do not need to hit the switch in out of bounds, which is really nice, so I can't soft block there. But again, I won't try to explain this, because it's not really possible. The route is muscle memory. Basically everything I can do here is hold right and jump. There's nothing more I can really do. I'm trying to get up on a ledge here, which I just did. It makes a lot of sense out of bounds.
Yeah, of course.
So we stand on this block, on this block, scroll down the screen 2 times, get hit by this enemy, thanks, he missed. Fly into this pipe, again, it's just visual, the pipe doesn't actually exist. Fly into this little corner, hit here, do like a C shape, and swim off the screen 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Set up correctly, jump up here, hit a loading zone, and we are now in the green room. It just works. So usually the blocks are not updating properly. They're doing this time, which is fine by me.
Alright, I wouldn't.
I mean, you saw it in practice.
Yeah.
Usually these blocks do not update properly, so they just remain unbroken visually.
But this isn't a problem at all.
I mean, it's nice to see the blocks actually breaking when they're supposed to break. So usually we should be having a high jump here, but we don't. We never get high jump. So to get out of the box where the key was in, we need to do another clip. And now to avoid getting hit at all costs, because falling down here is a reset. Basically, okay, there we go. We're not done with out of bounds. There will be no more out of bounds, no more running around, and the game's in memory, which is nice.
It's Batman.
The memory is not a fun place. There are several loading zones that will just put you right back to the main menu. Which is always fun if you're speed running, doing a trick, and it just basically resets the game. So the map that we just got opens up E6. We cannot get to there yet. There's still a couple of levels left before we can get there, but we really want to get there because the level contains the final power-up in the game, and because, again, I already said it twice, getting the last upgrade, which basically means the game gives us all other upgrades as well, which is really nice, and we need it to beat the game. These, like arrows in the water, mean it's a current. I cannot swim against the current without the correct power-up, but it doesn't really matter. This boss that is coming up is called the Wolfen boss. The Japanese basically says it's a kitsune, which is a fox. I personally say it looks like a rat, it's a ninja, and it's in the sewers, so it's Master Splinter. It clearly is Master Splinter. So he throws like 2 of these white spinny balls and then a spiky ball. If these things hit you, you inflate and get thrown out of the arena. And I need a second here. Oh, this is a good pattern. Wow. So the boss is RNG, sometimes flies around all over the place, and you can't actually hit him because you have to wait for his attack to attack him back. And the last spiky ball is really dangerous because it moves halfway across the room. So if he corners you, there's basically no way to actually go out of there. But that went really well, which I'm happy about. A fan.
Yeah, look pretty good.
It's a fan. It fans air, moves mist away. Like half these items don't make any sense.
But this kind of makes sense.
Yeah, of course, if it's a really big fan. So this opens up the east side. We still can't go to East 6, but at least we could now enter the east side. But we still have a couple of levels on the way to actually go there. Now, usually the visuals are broken here. They are not. Okay.
Yeah, it was broken in your practice run.
I mean, basically you're supposed to carve your way through this like mountain, and with broken visuals, it would be really hard to see what I'm doing actually. But I mean, it's fine that they're unbroken. The path is always the same, so basically there goes the puzzle that you're supposed to do. Grab the grey key, and now there would be another boss coming up, so ideally we skip the boss. I hopefully can see if I'm on the right pixel. I will do a safety save here, which I usually don't. So this is the correct pixel. We will try to clip into the wall and then use the helmet to break blocks above us. If I fail, I fall down into the boss, which is what I'm trying to avoid. It's not a really difficult boss, but still, I'd rather skip it. Okay, I broke the block, as you could hear, but I didn't clip into the wall, so I just gonna do the boss. Again, you hit him from the top to basically trigger his vulnerable bottom side, and then swim into it, and he's gone.
Oh, Halo.
He's fine. He's not dead.
Oh, he used it as an elevator.
It could be either it's his halo or it's like fried.
Onion ring.
Yeah, not on. Of course, it's onion rings. It can't be squid because it's a squid boss, so it must be an onion ring.
Yes. We are no monsters, dude.
No, Wario is, but we're not.
Do we have time for a quick donation?
Of course, go ahead.
Great. We got $12 without a comment from someone who didn't give their name, but thank you so much for the $12. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So that was music box number 3, which opens up a hole in this mountain. Again, it's magic music boxes. So we're coming up on a trick here. It is another wall clip, because we didn't have enough of those. The problem is it's off screen, which is why a lot of people claim this to be the most difficult trick in the run. Basically the world record fails it 3 times, I guess, in the world record run. I have to basically stand on the correct pixel. I think I'm off by a pixel. Let's see. Basically, there is no visual indicator if you got it right or wrong, which makes this trick fairly difficult.
Yay!
And I got it. So basically, since we still don't have high jump, we basically have to clip into that wall to actually get up here.
Are you supposed to jump up there with high jump?
No, usually there's like a flute that summons snakes, and there was a snake pot over there. And the snake basically rises up from this pot and allows us to jump over here regularly.
Okay.
But we only get the snake charm in glitches. So. Now this finally is the second part to the book that we got in the very beginning of the run. Which basically freezes this sea and allows us access to the iceberg. Basically, we need that level to finally go to E6. So S5, there's a trick here that I won't even attempt because it's not marathon safe. Basically, it would skip all this here, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, I need to count there. Basically, it skips this entire puzzle. But it's very heavy on the wrist, and I started having massive pains in my wrist just attempting to try it out beforehand. So I'd rather not do the trick and then ruin my wrist for the rest of my life. So I just do the level regularly. So the item that you get from this level, the developers got a bit lazy. Both on the sprite work and on the cutscene. So basically the sprite work from the chest here, it looks basically like fireworks, like a fireworks rocket. Now in the cutscene, it's like a staff with a claw. Okay, it's completely different. And it doesn't actually show us what it does. It just says, oh, these levels now have changed. You can enter them to get a new treasure. But it doesn't say what it actually did. Now, what it does is there is this like black murky water that you can't see doors in. And it's now clear, like this water here was black and dark. And you might think, oh, if you can now see the doors, weren't they there before? No, they're actually not there. They only now get loaded in.
That's clever, okay, alright.
You might think, if you know where the door is, why not just go for the door?
Yeah, I was questioning that.
Now, because we love wall clipping so much, there's another variation of the wall clip. I just stored a wall clip which persists through the door and through swimming. I have to align myself with this wall, move exactly 1 pixel to the side, and then we can do this.
Oh wow.
Basically, we clip into the wall, hit our heads, instantly go into crawl animation, which allows us to skip the entire room. So, if you maybe looked away for a second and missed it, we will basically do the same on the next level as well. Just again, the entire run is basically abusing walls to our advantage. Also save the polar bears. Not these are mean polar bears, but the regular ones are pretty nice, I guess. So we have to align ourselves properly. This looks good. And do it again. And we just skipped another puzzle by just grabbing the key. So
It didn't look any...
it didn't look broken.
No, it really don't.
But again, usually you're supposed to go up there, freeze the water, go down, grab the key, go back up, unfreeze the water. Okay. So this lamp now illuminates the Castle of Illusion, which we will not go immediately to, because this opens up the way to E6, which is the level with the final upgrade, which we will now be getting. Now usually in glitches you're supposed to be having the super ground pound here. We don't, because we skipped out so many upgrades.
Yes?
Basically the AI on these like spiky things is really annoying.
Are we Donkey Kong now?
Yeah, basically. So we manipulate this enemy over here. The setup is extremely precise. Wait for it. Okay, that was not supposed to happen. So basically, we manipulate the enemy into going into a small pathway to inflate us in the correct spot. Now, this might be a quick setup. Okay, it's got the quick setup. So we break this block, break these blocks, this block, and the enemy is over here, which is not supposed to happen. Usually, you have to super ground pound on these like background ladders. There's a frog sitting at the bottom. He jumps up every time you super ground pound, and you're supposed to move him up, jump on him, grab the key. This frog, by the way. Also, frogs are not immune to fire, so hi frog and bye frog. Sorry. Also hi frog and goodbye frog. This also, by the way, is supposed to be happening. You cannot get rid of the frogs other way. So you have to burn yourself to actually go here. So, final upgrade in the game. The Golden Glove allows us to pick up heavy enemies and heavy objects. Also gives us super pants, high jump, natural high jump, by the way, and super flippers. But that's about it with the upgrades. We now have every single upgrade. And we're getting very close to the end. There's only 2 more levels left. And then we're done.
Can I read another donation?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so we got another anonymous donation with the amount of $23, and they say, "Good morning, thanks for playing Wario Land 3, smiley face. I hope to have a nice weekend with you guys, smiley face. Have fun."
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Smiley face.
Smiley face.
Smiley face.
So we hit the switch just so we can skip out a later switch that is slower. And we need.
No, chat. Please don't.
Is it full of smiley faces?
They're starting right now.
Oh no. What have we done? So we clip into this wall to go up here. I'm not even gonna look at chat. I know what the chat is. We take the lower path here because the upper path has a key in it. Loses another couple of seconds. because every time we grab a key, it basically stuns us for a second. We can now grab these hammer bots, which we needed to break these blocks, because we have the super glove now. Go up here and grab the key. I try to thread the needle. Okay. Okay, I see a lot of smiley faces.
Yeah, or the happy face.
Okay. I'm smiling right now.
Make an emote out of it.
Maybe I should. Okay. So, this is the last level we unlock. We will no longer be unlocking levels in the overworld. Basically, the item... Basically, we have to go through this glitch list to get to the chest. We cannot actually skip anything. It's basically entering a room, hit a lever, leave the room all the time. But we're done with the level now. So this item, also nobody really is sure what it is. It might be smelling salts, it might be, I don't know, salt in general. It could be cocaine, I don't know. Basically, this tree smells it and he just can't take it and he opens his mouth. I assume in disgust. I'm not sure. Like, the game makes no sense. Which allows us to get to the blue chest and key in North 1, which is the first level in the game, also the last level in the game.
Garlic powder makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. I mean, did you ever sniff garlic powder?
No,
Neither have I, but I don't want to either, so yeah, it makes sense.
it would make a tree disgust.
So we just enter through the mouth, and we're now in the tree. So this is the final treasure that we will be getting. It's a really long level. I'm not even gonna look at chat, oh no.
Could also be mouth opening dust.
I like chat's suggestions. They're pretty good. So we basically have to fall out of the tree to get the key. And we have to do it all over again. There's an out of bounds here for the key, but it's extremely technical. And it's also slower. So we just fall down and go back up again. Now, there's a boss coming up. It's the spider boss. It's the most hated boss in the speedrun because it tends to end all PBs. There's a spider skip that I will be attempting to go for. I'm gonna give it a couple of tries, but not many. Basically, he spits these like balls of spiderweb. If they hit you, you're out. But you can pick them up. And now if I align myself properly... Ah, that was really close. So you can clip into that wall up there with the correct setup. I slightly missed it. I'm gonna give it one more try, then we'll just beat the boss regularly. You're usually supposed to hit the boss with the ball of yarn. Oh, well, yeah, okay, I'm gonna just beat the boss regularly. So he comes down and you can ground pound him. You have to do it 3 times and then he's defeated. He throws more and more balls. Basically, it becomes harder and harder to dodge. And you can get cornered, which is why I'm just doing the boss regularly. Because getting hit here loses so much time. He's now spitting 2 balls. Game, please. Okay. The balls can go out the window, by the way, which is always fun to see. So basically, we want to I'm saying basically a lot, stay here so he always shoots to the left, which reduces the chance of the balls going out the window.
Oh, you can jump on them, that's great.
Yeah, we can, but we try to avoid it because the hitbox is also a bit wonky. And the boss is now done.
Yeah, it looks really stupid, this boss.
The problem is basically where the game draws the line between hitting the top and hitting the side. And sometimes you jump on top of it and it still hits you.
Game Boy hitboxes.
Yeah. So, it's another music box. So it's the final music box in the game that we're
Yeah.
getting. Now, maybe you counted along, but we only got 4 music boxes.
I didn't count, to be honest.
Okay, it's fine. Now, the phase asked for 5 music boxes. We only have 4. But like the power-ups, the game only checks the last one you got.
I hate this mechanic. Probably the most hated mechanic in speedruns for me.
So basically, we now have all music boxes. Wario just conjures up the last music box just out of nothing. So we give it to this friendly face. The red music box, by the way, is the one we never got. But we just have it right now, which is nice. That's the reason why sequence breaking is amazing. So we can now finally go back to our own world.
They're pretty nice synchronized, by the way.
What, we're not going back to our own world?
He betrayed us.
No, we were lied to. Also, you might want to grab the button. So, the face is the final boss. He takes 4 hits. It's gonna be fairly quickly over. Basically, he's Rudy the Clown.
Time on the... oh my god.
Yep.
On the, it's time on the 4th hit.
Yeah. As
Alright.
soon as the force hit connects, I will give you the signal.
I'm ready.
Basically, you stun his hands and throw it at his own face. Classic Nintendo strategy.
Don't clap yourself.
It's 1. That was a bit early. So he stuns you, and if you have the right timing, you can actually re-grab the hand. It's 3 and time. There we go.
Woo!
So sadly, the boss is a big pushover. He's the final boss. He has a really good music, which we never hear, because it takes like a minute to actually build up the music. Pretty sad.
Yeah.
And now we realize all the enemies were humans, so there were no humans on the island. Now there are humans on the island.
Whoa, big spoiler, dude.
So the text that is coming up is in Japanese. Basically, the story is they were the villagers of this world, and then Rudy came in and attacked them. They sealed Rudy away with the music boxes, but Rudy turned them into the enemies, and they were just trying to stop you from releasing Rudy. And then they're basically saying sorry for trying to harm you, and as a reward, we will send you back to your own world.
So basically you're a mass murderer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good to know.
Wario's not a nice person, by the way.
Well, we all knew that.
I mean, a couple of people survived, as you can see.
Yeah, yeah. It's enough to... And he got even...
He got his reward, he got some treasures left.
treasures, right?
So
But he still has no plane to get back.
he might have to walk quite a bit through some random forest in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, maybe he'll find another cave.
So this is now the credits. The run is over. It's got some nice music playing here. But that's about it. So thank you for joining me on the couch.
Yeah, thanks for having to run.
And thanks for watching this run. And next up is Wings Club, I think. Which is...
Oh, great!
Okay.